All right, y'all, we are back with another video, and here we go again with corrupt Jack Smith. And y'all notice the more we've been covering this, it seems like Jack Smith ain't been doing nothing but crying and just threatening Judge Eileen Cannon, which Judge Eileen Cannon has been one of the only fair judges, towards Donald Trump, because all these other judges don't like Donald Trump, trying to make them look bad, trying to make them pay these ridiculous fines and stuff like that. And so here we go again with Jack Smith constantly throwing out threats towards Judge Eileen Cannon. It even came out that they were saying that he might try to get her removed because she won't do what he want her to do. Like, these people are nuts. They believe they are above the law. And if you don't do what they say do, now they pissed off. Now they feel like, oh, she's for Trump. She's for Trump. And it's just crazy. They feel like they can always just get their way whenever they want to. That ain't the way it works. So we definitely gonna dive straight into this. This video will be coming from Doug. I will leave the original video in the description. Make sure y'all go to Doug's channel. Let him know that I sent you, all right? He said that Jack Smith tries to rush Judge Cannon, but she would not perform election interference. Then he go on to say that Jack Smith freaks out crying over Judge Eileen Cannon acting normal. So we definitely go ahead and dive straight into it. Like I said, please hit that like button so more people can see this video. Subscribe to the channel so you can stay up to date with everything that's going on so you don't miss out. So make sure you hit that subscribe button, all right? And let's go ahead and dive straight into it, y'all. Let's see exactly what Jack Smith is crying about now.
Let's get caught up on Jack Smith down at that Mar-a-Lago documents case with Judge Cannon. Jack Smith is throwing a tantrum over instructions she gave to the jury. Anytime he's throwing a tantrum, it's good news. Anytime he says it's unfair or unprecedented or bad, but he is starting to cut off the gloves and just go after her and full on threaten her. This is going to keep getting more and more dramatic. All of these Trump cases, as we get closer to the election, it's like it ratchets everything up. Well, welcome to Doug in Exile. I'm Doug Tenaple. I'm the creator of Earthworm Jim, The Neverhood, Nickelodeon's Cat Scratch, and now I do the news. So let's go to the Hill and let's move me over here so I got to fit in my shorts. Jack Smith airs frustration with Cannon's embrace of fundamentally flawed instructions. Special counsel Jack Smith aired frustration at U.S. District Court. Judge Aileen Cannon, Trump appointment, arguing that a legal theory from former President Trump that the classified documents recovered from his Florida home were his personal property rests on a, quote, fundamentally flawed legal premise. That's what he claims. The filing Tuesday night, last night, comes as Cannon has asked both sides to propose jury instructions that would take into account Trump's view of the Presidential Records Act, which dictates how records created during a president's term must be handled and later achieved. The law does allow for some records to be considered personal property of the president, but legal experts have rebuffed President Trump's argument that more than 300 highly classified records recovered from his property could in any way be considered personal. So that's what the bad guys are saying. They're going, this can't be personal, guy. This is like national secrets. And Trump could be like, hey, it was a personal letter from, President G or something. Smith's team argued that accepting Trump's theory, quote, would distort the trial. Smith's mad. The Presidential Records Act distinction between personal and presidential records has no bearing on whether a former president's possession of documents containing national defense information is authorized under the Espionage Act. And the PRA should play no role in the jury instructions the prosecutors wrote. Trump is largely being prosecuted under the Espionage Act, which prohibits the willful retention of national defense information when you're not Joe Biden. He also charged with obstruction of justice for seeking to conceal the records from authorities after they demanded their return. By the way, that last sentence might be the only thing Trump is guilty of, and I don't, big deal. It says he is charged with obstruction of justice for seeking to conceal the records from authorities. They demanded their return, and Trump just said, nope. And that's why he got busted. This isn't treason. Compared to what Biden did, this isn't treason. Compared to what Obama did, this is not treason.
Right.
Legal observers were baffled by Cannon's recent instructions, asking both sides to weigh two scenarios that largely embrace Trump's view of the Presidential Records Act, despite having failed to consider an earlier motion from him seeking to toss the case on those grounds. See, the problem is Judge Aileen Cannon's treating this as like a normal case.
Right.
They consider her slow, but really she's normal. And she's going, I'm not going to get whipped up into a panic just because you guys have a political agenda with this election. I'm the judge. Too bad. The indecision on the matter and numerous other motions have created a backlog of issues in the case, including Cannon's consideration of a new trial date. So see, they're angry that it's getting more complicated and she has things to think about. She's doing normal order. They want her just to panic to the conclusion they want, which is get Trump. That's their conclusion, everything. That's Jack Smith, who's supposed to be serving the people and serving justice. He has one agenda, get Trump. Quote, it is purely a question of law that must be decided promptly. If the court were to defer a decision on that fundamental legal question, it would inject substantial delay in the trial. Prosecutors wrote of Cannon's need to rule on the underlying PRA motion before leapfrogging to jury instructions based on the matter. Okay, so here's where they're stepping up their attacks on Aileen Judge.
Yeah, see, that's what they kept doing because I was seeing it, you know, like when I went on Google, I can see it. It's like all the article kept saying, Jack Smith attacks Judge Aileen Cannon. We're going to try to get her removed because it seemed like she's on the side of Trump. Because like Doug said, they got a political agenda that they just trying to get Donald Trump off ballots. They trying to get him prosecuted. They trying to do all of this stuff. And if the time that they got a fair judge that calls it right down the middle and that ain't playing one side, kind of like what Judge Engelrun is doing. He don't like Donald Trump. He played one side. Just like Judge McAfee, he just don't have a backbone. He should have removed Fannie Willis, but he didn't. Why? He used to work for. So it's just all of these things, and then Trump finally get like a fair judge, and here go Jack Smith with all these threats towards. I told y'all, it's like every time you go on Google, Jack Smith always throws out threats towards Judge Aileen Cannon. Keep threatening this woman because she won't do what you want her to do. It don't work that way. That's why I be saying the left think they above the law. They think they make the rules. They think that they the judge. So it's just crazy to me all of a sudden now Jack Smith want to try to, you know what I'm saying, get rid of Judge Aileen Cannon, trying to get her took off. That's not going to work. That's the reason why Judge Aileen Cannon been constantly screaming, you know what I'm saying, yelling and stuff in the courtroom at Jack Smith because these threats that he's constantly throwing out. And the people in his camp been threatening Judge Aileen Cannon. But more of that stuff is going to come out.
Aileen Cannon. It's unusual for prosecutors to be so direct in countering a judge's directions, like they're rebelling from her. But numerous lines in the filing suggest impatience with the slow pace of the proceedings. Now, see, they have the confidence of the U.S. government and the White House and the Department of Justice on their side. Mm-hmm. I think they're threatening Aileen Cannon.
Yep. They're
like, listen, it'd be a shame if you ended up in prison. By the way, that's what happens when people perform actual fair acts. The Department of Justice comes after them, hunts American citizens and judges.
Yep.
At another point in the filing, Smith called it, quote, vitally important that Cannon promptly decide the matter, noting their ability to pursue a future appeal of erroneous jury instructions. See, this is the pressure Jack Smith's putting on her. It's so obvious this is politically motivated. This is election oriented. Nothing, there's no reason for this to be sped up. And he just wants to get it done before the election because he wants to influence the election. He doesn't care about justice. So now you're up to speed on what happened with Judge Aileen Cannon and Jack Smith. To me, the big news is that Jack Smith is starting to be, the prosecution is being more and more vocal, being a little more bossy with her, pushing on that deadline. Let's go, let's go, let's go. and they're not giving her her own legal jurisdiction as a judge to act as she sees fit with this case. They're the ones politicizing it by trying to speed it up. She is not the one politicizing it by slowing it down. She's addressing all of these things as they come in and treating them as normal.
Yeah, because another thing is they kept saying that she keep putting it off because she's trying to let time fly by as it get closer and closer to election. Because you got to realize this is what Fannie Willis is trying to do. She's trying to put Donald Trump on trial before election. This is what they trying to do. They trying to rush and do everything because they know election coming. They know Trump is winning. They know he's going to become the president. So they just throwing everything out there. And that's why Jack Smith is so frustrated because he keeps saying that she's trying to hold it off. She keeps trying to kick the can down the road, basically, and not trying to rush it. But Jack Smith and his camp want her to rush, but she's not falling for none of the crap that Jack Smith is trying to do. It's just not going to work. So
she's normal. Jack Smith and the prosecution are Department of Justice, Biden apparatchiks with an assignment to speed this thing up and get Trump before the election. I'm a barely literate comic book.
Shout out to Doug, man. Another great video, man. And Doug is right. That's exactly what they're trying to do. They're trying to make her speed this stuff up because the election is coming. This right there is what this all about. And that's why they trying to get rid of Judge Cannon and get another judge in there. And they hoping it's a Democrat judge, a judge that don't like Donald Trump, so they can try to get everything pushed and get all the chips on their side. That right there is exactly what they trying to do. But like I said before, I don't think this crap is going to work. Judge Eileen Cannon is doing a good job. She's been one of the only fair judges. And obviously, Jack Smith is pissed off because he can't get his way. So like I said, y'all let me know in the comment section what y'all think about this. Thank you all for watching. Be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch y'all in the next one.